Hello, everyone. We have a teacher today with a potential hot take, as she says it. Let's see what she has to say. But before that, I have I feel I need to tell you that I did my eyebrows today with Nair, and probably not the smartest decision, but it saved me the $20 that all these places around town were charging for eyebrows doing. So I feel happy. I feel happy I avoided that. So let's see what this teacher has to say. Let's see what their hot take is. They say the military in any form does not belong in our schools, they say. I'm guessing what they mean with schools in particular is like ROTC programs. Like if you're outside of the US, ROTC programs are programs where students take like a class, and that class teaches them like different military like skills. You have to dress in a uniform like once a week or something like that, and it has to be like perfect. They check to make sure the outfit's perfect, and you just learn a bunch of different skills. It probably varies from school to school. I was never in ROTC, so I'm not super knowledgeable about that, and so I don't know like what exactly you learn. I know, you're given like a play rifle, I think, in some cases, and like you're taught, to work with that, something like that. Okay, so they say the high school I'm long-term subbing at, and others in the area all have military office in their school. I don't think any school I've been to had a military office per se. Maybe like they live on like a base. Probably not. They don't say they live on a military base, but I don't know what a military office is. But their next sentence starts with a recruiter, so it's probably like an office that works to like recruit students into the military. But let's keep reading. They say a recruiter for the military is in the office during designated times. Okay. How do I feel about that? See, the thing is, like, immediately what comes to mind is that, like, if you do like 2 years in the military after like basic training, you get you apply for the GI Bill, so you're able to get college paid for. That alone, I think, is a really good incentive for students who can get into the military. Like, you have to be like super healthy. Like, you can't have any disabilities. I could never be in the military because of like my shunt alone that I got at 2 months when I was 2 months old. It was life-saving, but it kicked me out of the military permanently. So but yeah, like the military is a valid option for after high school to reduce the cost of college to nothing, basically. So I like that alone makes me at least slightly disagree with this idea that a military recruiter shouldn't be in a high school, because students should know that that's an option to pay for college. A very risky option if you're set out to war, but it's definitely an option. So I don't think it's horrible that students know about that option. They say, imagine coming into a high school at 13 or 14 years old and already have them pushing enlisting down your throat. Is that what they actually do at OP's high school? Like, do they actually come into classrooms and go like, you must join the military. You should join the military. The military is cool. Always cool. Like, is that what they do? Or is that just what is that just the idea OP has in their mind that military workers in a high school would do to students? Like, maybe OP is just like exaggerating here. Okay. But the last thing OP says is the only time the military should ever be in a high school, in my opinion, is during career days. I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, I still think high schoolers should be well aware that the military is an option, but yeah, like it's not clear what they do if they're not recruiting people, so I don't know. Like, for example, I know that somebody who happened to be in military taught it was like driving safety classes at my middle school, actually. something like that. And it was super valuable, even though like none of us were old enough to drive. But we were 13, so we were about to be old enough to drive, I think. And so like it was super valuable. So like if they're doing stuff like that could be really valuable for kids at that age. But yeah, OP says okay, they could also be there for the protection of students and staff. Like, I don't know. I think unless you're in a country where war is happening, or there are like big terrorist groups that are consistently threatening the area you're in, I think military would be overkill in a school just to like protect the students, unless you had like no police there for some reason and you had to like give military people civilian weaponry like a National Guard, and just go like, yeah, you gotta defend the school. Because I know like in Texas, I believe National Guard people have been sent in to act as like substitute teachers or like primary teachers, so that's not too far-fetched. But in general, I'm not really sure what the military is doing in OP school. Like a military office, like I'd be confused what they're there for unless it was made clear. But if they mainly just recruit kids, if they mainly just talk to kids about the military, I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing, unless it like impacts how much teachers are getting paid there. Then it's like, yeah, save it for career day. But like otherwise, I don't think it's too bad. And like if they could have like a guidance counselor there that is able to console kids who have parents overseas, or serving overseas, that'd be really helpful for those kids, so they're not stressed out about that while they're trying to juggle everything else in high school. So yeah, I can see a couple of reasons why it could potentially be helpful. But yeah, let's see what other people have to say. Let's see what some comments say. One person says, I worked at a school that had an ROTC program. For many kids, the military is a legitimate option after graduation. I personally wouldn't encourage my own children onto that path, but it's an option for many kids. But I do tend to agree about the present should only be at career fairs like any other college and after graduation options. Right. I mean, yeah, that's fair. I mean, again, except for things like counseling kids that have parents overseas, if but other than that, the teacher, I mean, they probably don't have a huge reason to constantly be at the school. But like allowing students to like talk to these people about ask them all the questions they have about working in the military. I mean, that might career day might not be enough for that. Who knows, and it provides students an opportunity to sign up for the military and get help with that process while they're still finishing high school. So I can see reasons for it, but I kind of understand the discomfort it might cause parents to like have what does the military being in your school say about like the safety of your country that you call home. I can kind of see that angle too. So I should be cool, hot, nuanced takes. No, I'm kidding. Last comment says, my issue is that they have a higher presence in lower income schools. I knew that was the case about police. I didn't know that about military. I went to a low-income middle school, and the only time I saw somebody from the military was like maybe a career day if we had that. I don't think we did. But like, again, like also that one bunch of weeks that someone for the military came in and taught like driver safety and like drug safety type things. That was a good workshop class thing. But like that was the only time I saw a military member in like actively be a part of a middle school or high school for that matter, career fair, or that one workshop thing that was several weeks. But yeah, like police being in a lower income school, that just has to do with like most likely, lower income neighborhoods, because of the complex web of conditions that come with being low income in the US. I mean, there's more fights in lower income schools. Students are more likely to bring in weapons. Like, I recall multiple days where I had to go home with a note from like the principal, like a printout from the principal to addressed to all parents, because they had to mention that some kid had a gun or a pocket knife in their backpack or purse or something like that. Like, it happened multiple times, like in 1 year, I think, at my school. So sorry about that. I got a notification in my ear. So yeah, like, basically, it is something that you have to worry about. But yeah, like, so it's not amazing that police have to be in low income middle or high schools, especially because it can result in more unnecessary police violence towards especially people of color, because that's literally, unfortunately, what they're trained to do is stereotype people of color. That's literally why the police were invented in like the 1800s or whatever, to go after people of color. Look it up. But yeah, it's a shame that that kind of stems into now, and like they're in these low income areas, making them feel less safe. Although, there are definitely, people of color who live in these neighborhoods who are like, no, I do like the police here. They make me feel safer because of the web of conditions in low income areas that make those low income areas less safe. So they are okay with those police being in those schools. Like, some are not, some are, it's a person to person thing. So I don't blame this commenter for being uncomfortable. But it's definitely not a sentiment. I feel like I need to say that it's definitely not a sentiment everybody holds in this complex issue. They say that it seems predatory. Yeah, like, it can be predatory, like, in the sense that, they're more likely to, like, potentially arrest, people of color or low income people, for more minor things than they normally would be arrested for. I've definitely seen that. But, not always, definitely, but like, that's definitely something that does happen and needs to be looked out for. I've seen it personally, unfortunately. So yeah, definitely an issue, definitely a real valid concern, definitely a real valid issue. But yeah, military into school, working as like recruiters, as working to help students navigate the military, for after high school, police in high schools or middle schools. What do you think about any of those topics? Put it down below in the comments. I've reached out to Team YouTube on Twitter. Hopefully they're able to solve the comment issue. Because like most of my videos, even though I say they're not for kids, in the description they still get the comments shut down. So Team YouTube's looking at it. It's probably because I look like a kid, honestly, because I didn't change any settings. So anyway, what do you think about this? If you can, comment down below. If not, like and subscribe if you like what you see, for more content. Thank you so much. I've been CoolHotTakes, and thank you, and have a great day.